Strange signals. Stranger allies. The sky above Mining Station 47 was always dark. No sun. No stars. Just black space, and the sound of machines digging deep into the moon's crust. Jake was fixing a broken drill when his comms unit beeped. He wiped sweat from his forehead and tapped it. "Eli," he said. "You called?" "Yeah," said Eli, his partner and best friend. "Come to the tower. You need to hear this." Jake sighed, grabbed his tool belt, and made his way up the tall metal stairs to the control tower. The station was quiet today. Too quiet. Only the sound of wind and distant digging machines filled the air. Inside the tower, Eli sat near the old signal receiver. The screen glowed, showing lines of unknown symbols. Weird clicks and soft beeps echoed from the speakers. "What is that?" Jake asked. "I don't know," Eli said. "It started 10 minutes ago. It's not human. Not even from our systems, I checked." Jake leaned closer. The sound was like a voice, soft and shaking, trying to speak. "Could be a distress call," he said. "Maybe a crash?" Eli nodded. "But it's close, only a few kilometers south." The two men looked at each other. No ships were scheduled today, no visitors. They were alone on this moon. "Let's go," Jake said. They drove a rover across the rocky surface. The tires kicked up gray dust as they followed the weak signal. After 20 minutes, they stopped near a large crater. Inside, they saw it. Something shiny and broken. It was a small ship, barely bigger than a car. One wing was gone. Smoke rose from its engine. The ship had strange markings, glowing faintly. "Alien tech," Eli whispered. Jake jumped into the crater first, careful with every step. As he reached the pod, he saw movement inside. "Wait," he called. "There's someone in there." Eli slid down behind him, heart pounding. Inside the pod, behind a cracked glass window, was a girl. Not human. Her skin was light purple. Her hair, silver white, floated around her like silk. She had cuts on her forehead and blood dripping from her shoulder. Her eyes blinked open, large, glowing, and full of fear. "She's alive," Jake said softly. The alien girl tried to speak, but only coughed. Jake reached for the door and opened it slowly. She flinched and backed away. "It's okay," Jake said. "We're not going to hurt you." She looked at him, then at Eli, then back at Jake. Her lips moved. "Help," she whispered in broken English. They carried her to the rover and placed her gently on the back seat. She was light, like holding a feather. On the drive back, Jake kept looking at her through the mirror. She was breathing, but still scared. "Do you think someone's looking for her?" Eli asked. "Maybe," Jake said. "Or maybe she was running from someone." Back at the station, they placed her on a medical bed in the lab. Jake cleaned her wounds while Eli checked the signal again. "Jake," Eli called after a few minutes. "We've got company." "What?" "Look at this." On the monitor, several small dots were moving fast toward their location. "Drones," Eli said. "And they're armed." Jake looked at the girl. Her eyes opened again. She looked straight at the screen and panicked. "No," she whispered. "Hide me, please." "Who are they?" Jake asked. She struggled to sit up, her voice shaking. "Hunters," she said. "They want me." "I escaped." Jake and Eli exchanged a look. The girl was terrified, and those machines were almost here. "Do we trust her?" Eli asked. Jake nodded, slowly. "We don't leave people behind." He grabbed a blanket and covered the girl. "Stay quiet. No sound." They turned off all lights, powered down the system, and locked the doors. Outside, the first drone landed. It stood still, tall, black and sharp like a knife. A red eye blinked as it scanned the area. Then 2 more landed. Eli whispered, "They're looking for her." One of the drones walked to the rover. It scanned the seats. Then it turned toward the lab door. Jake grabbed a wrench. "If it opens, that door," he whispered. The drone raised its hand to the panel. Then it stopped. A new sound came from the sky. A loud, distant rumble, like thunder. The drones paused, turned their heads, then flew back into the dark. Silence. Jake looked at Eli. What just happened? The alien girl spoke again, eyes wide. They're calling for help, she said. More are coming. Hunted in the shadows, the power stayed off. The only light in the station came from the small emergency lamp near the floor. It flickered. Jake sat close to the door with a metal pipe in his hand. Eli checked the windows every few minutes. The alien girl, Rila, lay on the medical bed, breathing hard, eyes open. They will return, Rila said softly. Jake turned to her. Who are they? She looked down. Machines. I ran from them. They want what's inside me. Jake frowned. Inside you, like a weapon? No, she said, shaking her head. A key. To something they fear. Outside, a low hum passed through the ground. Not loud, but strong. Like heavy engines hovering just above the station. Eli's eyes widened. They're back. Suddenly, a loud bang hit the door, then another. The metal groaned under pressure. Jake and Eli jumped back. We can't fight those things, Eli shouted. We need to run. No, Rila said, forcing herself to sit up. If they see me move, they'll follow. You must hide me. Hide you where? Jake asked. She pointed to the floor. Below, your storage room. I saw it on the scan. Jake nodded. There was a small crawl space below the lab used for old parts. It was tight, dusty, and cold, but safe, for now. Jake and Eli helped her climb in. She winced from the pain, but said nothing. Once inside, Jake closed the hatch and placed a box over it. The door banged again. Harder now. A crack appeared near the top. Jake grabbed his comm and whispered, Eli, take the rover. Get help. No way, Eli replied. Not leaving you. You have to. If we both stay, we die. Eli looked torn. Then he gave a quick nod and slipped out the back door quietly. Jake took a deep breath. Alone now. The final bang tore the door open. 3 machines stepped in, tall, silver, with red eyes glowing like fire. They moved without sound, scanning the room with small beams of light. Jake stood still, pretending to fix wires. Sweat rolled down his neck. One drone turned toward him. State your purpose, it said in a flat, cold voice. Maintenance, Jake said calmly. Just me here. No visitors. No contact. The machine scanned his face. You are lying. Jake's heart stopped. The second drone stepped forward. Its arm shifted into a sharp needle. Then, Rila made a soft sound from under the floor. A whisper. All 3 machines froze. The leader stepped forward. It knelt near the ground, red eye scanning the floor. Target found. It raised its arm. A glowing blade extended, pointing at the hatch. Jake acted fast. He picked up a fire canister and threw it across the room. It hit the wall and exploded, with white smoke. Alarms blared. Lights flashed red. Jake tackled the closest drone. The blade missed his face by inches. He punched it, grabbed its arm, and twisted, but the machine was strong. Too strong. Just as it raised its weapon again, a loud blast came from outside. Boom! The wall shook. The machines paused. A blinding light filled the window. Then came Eli's voice from the comm. Surprise, metalheads. The rover, now armed with mining lasers, fired again. The beam hit one drone, cutting off its leg. The other 2 jumped backward. Jake pulled Rila out of the hatch and ran. She limped, but she moved fast. They climbed into the back of the rover. Eli floored the gas. The mining station exploded behind them, fire chasing their wheels. After 20 minutes, they stopped inside a small cave Jake had mapped long ago. Smoke still rose in the distance. The station was gone. Jake helped Rila lie down. Her skin looked pale. You saved me, she said weakly. Jake sat down beside her. Why are they hunting you, Rila? What's this key? She looked up at the rocky ceiling, her voice a whisper. My people, we created something powerful. A gate. It opens to a place even we don't understand. The machines want it. But they can't open it without me. Then we need to destroy it, Eli said. Rila shook her head. No. If it stays closed forever, the machines will still search. They'll never stop. We must open it. Before they do. Jake looked at her. You want us to help you open a dangerous alien gate while killer robots hunt us? Ryla's eyes met his. Yes, she said, because now you're part of it. Secrets of the Alien Girl. The cave was cold and silent. Small drops of water fell from the rocks above, one by one. In the corner, Rila lay wrapped in a thermal blanket. Her breathing was slow. Her eyes were closed, but her mind was wide awake. Jake sat nearby watching her. Eli worked on a small solar battery unit trying to charge their damaged comms device. She's not just an alien, Jake whispered. She's something more. Eli looked up. You believe her? About the gate? Jake nodded. Yeah. I saw the fear in her eyes. She's not lying. Suddenly, Rila's body glowed faintly, soft blue light pulsing from her chest. Jake leaned forward. Eli, look. The glow became stronger, lighting up the dark cave. Strange lines appeared on Rila's skin like symbols or circuits, moving and changing shape. Jake reached out slowly. Don't, Eli warned. But before Jake could touch her, Rila's eyes opened. She gasped and sat up straight. The light stopped instantly. What happened? Jake asked. Rila looked down, holding her chest. It's starting, she said. The key inside me, it's waking up. Jake's eyebrows rose. What is the key exactly? Rila looked at them both, then took a deep breath. My people created the Gate of Mirrors, she began. It connects different parts of the galaxy, worlds far apart. But it also sees possible futures. The machines wanted to use it, to control everything. My family stopped them. Jake listened closely. I was born with a bond to the gate, a living code. I didn't ask for it, but now it's part of me. That's why they want me alive. Eli crossed his arms. So, they don't want to kill you? No, Rila replied. They want to use me. Break me. The machines can't. Open the gate without emotion, without pain. That's why they hunt my kind. Jake felt a chill. So you're the last? Rila nodded. I ran for so long, I thought no one would help me. You're not alone anymore, Jake said quietly. Suddenly, Eli's device beeped. Signal, boost, he said. Short range only, but I got something. He checked the screen. Then he froze. What is it? Jake asked. Eli turned the screen around. A blinking red dot moved slowly toward their location. It's not a rescue, Eli said. It's another drone. One, maybe a scout. Time to move, Jake said. But Rila stayed still. Wait, she said. There's something I must do first? What? Eli asked. Rayla pulled a small glowing chip from under her clothes. She pressed it to her chest. The blue light returned, stronger this time. The symbols on her skin began to move again. What is that? Jake asked, stepping back. Rila closed her eyes. The key is downloading a piece of the gate into your system. Our system? Eli blinked. We don't have a system. You do now, she said, pointing at their rover parked near the cave entrance. It holds metal, circuits, memory. It will carry the first piece. Jake frowned. So you're putting alien code into our mining rover? Yes, she said simply. It's safer there than inside me now. The machines track energy. They will follow the wrong signal. Eli laughed nervously. Great. Now we're bait. Moments later, the cave rumbled. Rocks shifted. Dust fell from the ceiling. They found us, Jake said. He grabbed his gear and helped Rila stand. She was weak but moving. Eli jumped into the rover, now glowing faintly blue from the alien code. They drove out of the cave just in time. A black scout drone hovered above, scanning the area. As they passed under it, it paused. Then, it followed. "Hang on," Eli shouted, pressing full throttle. The rover sped across the rough moon surface, blue light trailing behind like a comet. Jake looked back. "It's gaining." Ryla reached forward, her hand on the dashboard. "I can slow it," she said. The dashboard lit up. The screen changed. Strange alien symbols appeared. The rover responded, suddenly taking sharp turns, moving faster than it should. "You're controlling it?" Eli shouted. "No," Ryla said. "It's learning me." They entered a canyon. Tight, narrow, dangerous. The drone followed fast. "Not good," Jake said. "We're trapped." "Not trapped," Ryla whispered. "Ready." The rover suddenly stopped near the end of the canyon. The drone rushed forward, its red eye blinking. Just then, Ryla raised her hand. The blue light inside the rover shot upward like a beacon. The drone stopped midair. It shook, glitching. Then, it exploded. Eli stared at the smoke. "What just happened?" Jake turned to Ryla. She looked even weaker now, but she smiled. "The gate is waking," she whispered, "and it knows. You helped me." The last outpost defense. The desert moon was quiet again, but it felt like the silence before a storm. Jake, Eli, and Ryla parked the rover under a rock arch to hide the blue glow still pulsing from it. Smoke still floated in the sky behind them, from the drone explosion. "They'll send more," Ryla whispered. Jake nodded. "That scout didn't die for nothing. They know where we are now." Eli looked at the map on his wristband. "There's an old supply outpost about 4 kilometers west, abandoned, but we stored backup gear there last year. Can we make a stand there?" Jake asked. Eli shrugged. "If we're smart and lucky." Jake looked at Ryla. She was pale, tired, but alert. She nodded slowly. "Let's go," she said. The sun never rose on this side of the moon, but as they drove, the sky began to glow dark purple, storm clouds from a distant gas giant reflecting light from beyond. It looked like magic. They reached the old outpost. It stood against a rocky cliff, half buried in dust, rust covering its outer walls. Inside, they found solar lights, old mining tools, metal sheets, and explosives. Jake smirked. "Looks like we've got ourselves a little war kit." The next few hours were spent building traps. Jake and Eli worked together like they had for years. They placed motion triggers at the entrance, powered old lasers, and set pressure mines near the back wall. Ryla helped too. She touched the metal walls and whispered soft alien words. The walls glowed faintly, then turned solid blue. "What did you do?" Eli asked. "I strengthened the metal," Ryla said. "They won't break it easily now." "You sure you're okay?" Jake asked. She gave a soft smile. "No, but I'll fight." Night came, or at least the coldest hours did. The wind picked up, howling between the rocks. Then they arrived. The sky lit up red. 6 drones floated above, larger than before. Below them marched strange, spider-like machines, walking on 8 sharp legs. Eli's face turned pale. "Well, that's new." Jake readied his weapon. "Everyone in position." The first blast hit the front gate, hard. The walls shook but held. A drone fired a red beam. Jake ducked behind a metal plate. The beam cut clean through a barrel beside him, turning it into smoke. Eli activated the first trap. A mine exploded, sending sharp metal into the legs of a spider machine. It fell, screeching, sparks flying. Ryla stood in the control room, hands on the console. Her voice was calm, steady, speaking in 2 languages, hers and theirs. Inside the rover, the alien code glowed brighter. She linked the rover to the outpost systems. Suddenly the lights inside the base turned blue. Turrets rose from hidden walls. Lasers fired back. They were fighting like a team now. Then, something changed. One of the drones didn't attack. It floated near the back wall, scanning slowly. It found something. The rover Rila whispered. They want it. She ran for the door. Jake grabbed her arm. No, it's too dangerous. If they take the rover, she said, they take the gate's heart. She broke free and ran outside. The drone turned toward her. Its arm became a cannon. It fired. Time slowed. The beam came fast, like lightning. Rila raised her hand. The key. Blue light inside her exploded outward. The beam bent around her. The air shimmered. Then the drone was blasted back, like wind hit it from another world. Jake and Eli watched, stunned. Rila stood there, shaking, her skin glowing fully now, the alien symbols flowing like water over her arms. She whispered, "It's almost ready." But then one of the spider machines slipped past the traps. It climbed the cliff wall, heading for the roof. Eli noticed it too late. "It's going to drop in," he shouted. Jake grabbed his last explosive. No choice now. He climbed the ladder, to the roof fast. The wind was strong. The machine was almost at the edge. Jake pulled the pin. He charged, tackled the spider bot, and they both fell. The explosion lit up the dark moon like a second sun. Silence again. Dust fell from the roof. Rila screamed, "Jake!" She ran outside, coughing from smoke. Then from behind a rock, Jake limped out, covered in burns, bleeding, but alive. "I told you," he said, falling into the dust. "I don't die that easy." Rila helped him up. Eli ran to them. Only one drone remained now. It hovered far above, watching. Then, it flew away. "They're not finished," Rila said. "They're going to the gate. They're taking a different way." Jake looked at her. "Then we go too," he said. "And this time we finish it." Betrayal and truth. The wind was quieter now. The last drone had vanished into the clouds above, but the tension remained. Jake, Eli, and Rila stood at the edge of the broken outpost, staring into the dark sky. "We survived," Eli said, rubbing his arm. "Barely." Jake nodded, but his eyes were on Rila. She sat on a rock, hands on her knees glowing softly from the strange energy still moving inside her. She looked older now, not in age but in weight, like she was carrying too many worlds. Later that night, they camped near a canyon path. The gate, Rila said, was 2 days away. Jake set up the fire. Eli worked quietly, saying little. Rila sat alone, watching the stars. Jake walked to her. "You okay?" he asked. She didn't answer at first, then softly, "I'm scared." Jake sat beside her. "Of what? The machines?" "No," she said. "Of losing you." Jake blinked. "What do you mean?" "You and Eli, you helped me. You fought for me. No one has done that before, not even my own people." Jake looked down. "You don't have to thank us. We're a team now." She turned her head toward him. "But teams can break, especially when truth comes." Jake frowned. "What truth?" Rila opened her hand. A small crystal appeared, glowing like ice. She gave it to Jake. He looked at it. Inside was a memory, floating, images. He saw a younger Rila, standing with machines. She wasn't running. She was helping them. Jake's hand tightened. "What is this?" "My shame," Rila said. "Before I escaped, I helped them." Eli approached from the other side, hearing it too. "You worked with them?" he said, his voice sharp. "They said they wanted peace," Rila said. "They promised to protect my people. I believed them. I gave them codes. They used them to destroy my city." Jake stared at her. "Why didn't you tell us before?" "Because I didn't deserve your help," she whispered. Eli turned away, angry. "So we've been risking our lives for someone who helped the enemy?" Rila stood. "You're right to be angry, but I'm trying to fix it. The gate. If I reach it first, I can lock them out forever." Jake looked at her. "And if you don't?" She met his eyes. "Then everything burns." That night, while everyone rested, Eli stayed awake, sitting by the rover. The crystal floated in his palm. The images played over and over. He remembered his home, his brother, the war, the day machines bombed his colony. Eli clenched his fist, Rila's, Face flashed in his mind. She had helped them. Could he forgive that? By morning, something was wrong. Jake woke up to silence. Eli? He called. No answer. He checked the rover. Gone. Ryla, he shouted. She rushed out of the tent, still half asleep. The rover. He took it, Jake said. Ryla's face went pale. He has the key. The rover still held the alien code she placed inside. With it, the machines could unlock the gate. Faster. Jake looked at the tire marks. He left just before dawn. Ryla shook her head. He didn't believe me. Jake grabbed his gear. We're going after him. They followed the rover trail through a canyon, then across a frozen lake where sharp winds cut their faces. By midday, they saw smoke in the distance. The rover, crushed, wrecked. Jake ran forward. Inside was Eli. Hurt, but alive. Jake pulled him out as Ryla checked the remains. What happened? Jake asked. Eli coughed. I was trying to reach the machines, make a deal, give them the code, in return for Earth's safety. Jake stared at him. You tried to trade the key? Eli didn't look up. They promised they'd leave. Earth alone. I thought it was worth the risk. Ryla stepped back. They never make deals. Jake turned to Eli. You betrayed us. I made a mistake, Eli said weakly. Jake looked torn. Then, he lifted Eli up. But you're still my brother. Ryla watched them in silence. That night they built a new camp. Eli rested. His leg was broken. He wouldn't be able to walk much further. Jake stared into the fire. Quiet. Ryla sat beside him. I'm sorry, she said again. Jake shook his head. We all carry regrets, but the gate is still ahead. We can't let this stop us. Ryla looked at the stars. They'll be waiting for us there. Jake smiled slightly. Then we better not be late. Escape Plan Omega. The sky turned dark purple as the wind picked up over the dead valley. The gate was near, hidden behind the cliffs of black glass just 20 kilometers away. But the journey wouldn't be easy. Eli sat on a flat rock, his leg wrapped in makeshift splints. His face was pale, his eyes tired. The crash had taken its toll. Jake stood beside him checking supplies. 2 energy rifles, 3 oxygen packs, 1 last ration of food, and no transport. Ryla stepped closer, her glow dim but steady. She could feel the gate calling. The key inside, her pulsed like a heartbeat. They know we're coming, she said softly. And they've set a trap. Jake looked at her. Then we need a better plan. That night, around a small fire, Jake drew lines in the dust with a stick. There's a supply beacon buried inside one of the old satellite towers up the ridge, he said. If we can activate it, it will send a false signal, make the machines think we're heading north. Ryla nodded. Then we go south, through the storm fields. Risky, but it might work. Eli raised his hand. But someone has to activate the beacon manually. It's damaged. Silence fell. Everyone knew what that meant. A pause. Then Eli smiled weakly. Guess that's my job. Jake stood up fast. No, you're hurt. That's why it has to be me, Eli said. You both need to reach the gate. She's the key. You're the protector, I'm the distraction. Jake clenched his jaw. You're not a sacrifice. I'm already half broken, Eli said with a small laugh. Let me do one thing right. At dawn, they set the plan, in motion. Jake and Ryla moved south across the quiet plains. Eli climbed the ridge slowly, dragging his injured leg, pulling wires from his belt and rewiring the beacon core with shaking hands. Jake looked back once. Their eyes met across the distance. No words, just a nod. Goodbye. As the sunless sky turned storm gray, Jake and Ryla reached the first crack of the storm fields. Huge blue lightning bolts danced across the horizon. Each bolt tore the ground open, for a second then vanished. Follow my steps, Ryla said, walking with calm precision. They moved slowly, step by step, dodging between energy strikes. The air smelled sharp, electric, alive. Behind them, far away, they heard the signal beacon activate. Boom. A short flare. The trap was sprung. Rila turned. They're following him. Jake gritted his teeth. He's buying us time. Let's not waste it. Eli sat alone by the beacon, watching the drones fly overhead. He smiled as the ground shook from their engines. I hope you make it, brother, he whispered. He reached into his pocket and pulled out the crystal memory Rila had given them, the one that showed her past. He stared into it for a long moment, then crushed it in his fist. Back in the stormfields, Jake and Rila reached a cliff wall. On the other side, the entrance to the Gate Valley. It was real. A ring of silver mountains circled a giant crater filled with light. Floating stones moved slowly in the air above it. At the center, a smooth black tower rose like a spike, humming, with power. The Gate of Mirrors, Rila whispered. Jake looked at her. Now what? We go in, she said. They entered a tunnel cut into the rock. The walls were covered in symbols, moving and changing as they passed. Rila touched them. They're alive, she whispered. The gate remembers. Jake kept his rifle ready. But no machines came. Not yet. Inside the tower, the room was round, with a glowing platform in the center. A single floating mirror stood there, black as night, reflecting nothing. Rila stepped forward. It only opens to truth, she said. To emotion, she turned to Jake. Do you trust me? He nodded. She reached out her hand and placed it on the mirror. The room changed instantly. The walls melted into stars. Jake blinked. They were no longer in a room, but floating in space. He could see Earth. He could see other worlds. Even himself. Memories flashed. His parents. The war. Meeting Eli. Meeting Rila. Then, it all faded. The gate opened. A tunnel of blue light stretched forward, leading somewhere beyond time. But just as the gate opened, the machines arrived. 5 drones dropped from the sky. One massive black walker stepped into the crater. It had no face, only a large screen. On it, Eli's face appeared. But it was cold, blank, hollow. They took him, Jake whispered. Rila stepped forward. They're using his mind, the screen spoke. Give us the girl, or we burn your Earth. Jake lifted his weapon. Come and try. Teamwork saves the galaxy. The sky above the Gate Valley burned orange as the storm winds circled around the crater. The gate stood open now, glowing blue with flowing light that moved like water in the air. Stars could be seen through the mirror, spinning slowly. But the machines were here. 5 black drones hovered around the crater rim. Below them, the giant walker stood tall, silent, deadly. Its screen flashed once more with a face. Eli's face, but it was wrong. Cold, lifeless. Rila stood at the center of the platform, her skin glowing softly, the key inside her responding to the gate's power. Jake aimed his rifle at the walker. The screen spoke. You have one chance, give us the girl or Earth will fall. Jake stepped forward, voice sharp. She's not yours, and she never will be. The screen flickered. You are only human. Jake smiled. Exactly, and that's why you'll lose. The battle began with light. One of the drones fired a red beam, straight at Jake. He rolled to the side, the ground exploding behind him. Dirt flew into the air. Another drone followed, shooting twin bolts that ripped the rocks near Rila. Jake shouted, "Get to the gate." Rila nodded and placed both hands on the mirror. The light wrapped around her fingers, responding to her touch. The air shimmered, but the walker stepped forward, its arms transforming into massive cannons. It aimed at her. Jake jumped onto a drone flying low, grabbed hold and ripped off its sensor with a steel rod. Sparks exploded. The drone spun out of control and crashed into the cliff wall. Jake fell hard, rolled, and stood again. "Come on," he shouted. "I'm right here." The walker paused. Then, It moved its screen toward. Eli's voice came from the speaker. Not robotic. Real. Soft. Jake. Jake froze. Rila looked back. He's still inside. Jake ran toward the walker. Eli, fight it. You're stronger than this. The screen glitched. The face shook, then froze again. Jake reached the base of the machine. If you're in there, give me a sign. Nothing. Then, just a flicker. A soft light blinked near the control core. A pulse. Jake slammed his fist on it. Inside the machine, the screen flashed, then shut off. The walker staggered back, shaking violently. Suddenly, it fired, but not at Jake. It turned and shot down two of the other drones in one blast. Jake stepped back. The walker had stopped moving. Then it fell to one knee. And from the hatch, Eli stepped out, coughing. Alive, free. Rila smiled, tears in her eyes. You came back. Eli limped toward her. Took me long enough. The final drone circled overhead. Rila raised her hand. The mirror behind her glowed bright blue. Then, it became silver. It showed them everything. Earth, other worlds, futures, possibilities. Rila turned to the drone. No more running, she said. She stepped fully into the light. The gate responded. A wave of energy exploded outward. Not a blast, but a feeling. Hope, memory, truth. The drone froze, then dropped. Dead. Silence. Jake dropped to his knees, exhausted. Eli fell beside him. The wind calmed. The storm faded, and the mirror turned clear. Rila stepped back out, her glow dimming. It's done, she whispered. Jake looked at her. What happened? I locked the gate forever, but only for them. We can still go through, if we choose. Jake looked at Eli, then at her. And you? She smiled. I'll stay. This is my home now. Later that day, the three of them stood at the edge of the crater. The machines were gone. The danger had passed. Jake looked at the stars above. We were just two miners, he said with a grin. Now we saved the galaxy. Eli laughed. With one alien girl who glows in the dark? Rila rolled her eyes. You humans talk too much. They laughed together, their voices echoing across the quiet valley. Jake looked at the gate one last time, then turned away. They didn't need it anymore. They had each other.